Where dreamers dream, where dreams come true. There's no limit to what we can do. Turning no's to yes, leaving doubt behind, releasing the stress. We were born to shine.
You're now tuned in to the Sade Champagne Show. With the cast, Christina Renee, Rick and Melissa Wood, Lisa Lewalt, Veronica Escobar Winners, Ariana Sade, and AYOKUNLE Faloma. Celebrity guest interviews, segments on health, wellness, creativity, entrepreneurship, spirituality, hot topics, and more. You're now tuned in to the Sade Champagne Show.
I just realized, you guys, that I've been on mute this whole time for the show. We're going to have to do the whole intro over. It's okay, everyone. We're going to get this going, and I'm just glad that I had the music playing. This is why this is a live show, you guys. You never know what's going to happen. I thought I was on with you, so let's get it going over again. Good evening, everyone. That was Travis Miller with Have It All. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 25 of the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio. This is our last episode of the month. Every episode is available on iTunes. Search the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio. And you can also download them for free on iTunes, and they're available on my YouTube channel as well. I want to thank you guys for tuning in all around the globe. Your support is so amazing. You can listen to my show at blogtalkradio.com/grindhard_radio. You see, guys, this is a live show. You never know what you're going to get sometimes. And the good news about that, and you guys know it's being on this network, is we keep it moving no matter what challenges come our way, no matter what comes up, and we have a good time and we learn from these things. And you realize this is a live show. And so if you guys are just listening in for the first time, I am a professional musical artist, performer, inspirational speaker, and entrepreneur. I've created, directed, and executive produced over 200 charitable and inspirational events, including my popular Power Dream Tour. I love mentoring, coaching, authentically being myself, and using my platform to encourage, empower, and bring out the gold in others. Tonight's special guest is one of my favorite guests from Season 1, Jim Dre Westbrook. He's an entrepreneur, published author, co-owner, and spokesperson for the lifestyle clothing brand Layup, a.k.a. Live at Your Own Pace. He's going to be joining us all night long. He's been on the Steve Harvey Talk Show, Tom Joyner Morning Show, Essence, News One Now with Roland Martin, and so many more. He's going to be chatting with us about his new book, which is a best-selling book, #Motivation, Feed Your Mind, and he's going to be chatting with us about what he's been up to. And after his chat, we're going to be taking your questions and chatting with you guys about relationships, business, entrepreneurship, health, fitness, living your dreams, and so much more. We also have a brand new Sharing Your Story with AYOKUNLE Falomo segment tonight. And so this show is all for the authors, dreamers, visionaries, entrepreneurs, everyone who is looking to move ahead in life. As you guys know, this is the first week of school. I'm excited for, or second week for some of you, I'm excited for all my performing arts. I'm excited for all the students who are back in school. This is going to be an amazing year for you guys. Keep moving ahead. And we're going to be live tweeting and posting on Facebook all show long. And we want to know your thoughts. You can end up live on air with us tonight on the show. And so just, you can Facebook me at Sade Champagne or tweet me at Sade Champagne. Instagram, I am Sade Champagne, #Sade Champagne Show, GHR or more. And I want to thank you guys, to everyone who you guys reach out to me every week through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those amazing things, and we're so thankful to your support. That was the fastest intro I ever did, you guys. So now we're going to move right into our special guest of the evening. He's with us all night long. Jim Dre Westbrook. He's our entrepreneur on the move. This is where I feature rising entrepreneurs, creators, and innovators who are changing up the game, inspiring others, and making bold moves. Hailing from Saginaw, Michigan, Jim Dre Westbrook is known as the worth the wait guy, the 32-year-old virgin and entrepreneur resides in Las Vegas, where he is co-owner and spokesperson for the lifestyle clothing brand Layup, a.k.a. Live at Your Own Pace. On his 30th birthday, Westbrook shocked family and friends when he announced via Facebook that he was still a virgin. Since then, he's been tirelessly spreading his message of living at your own pace, entrepreneurship, and faith on his blog site, worththewaitguy.com. Last year, he appeared on Steve Harvey's TV talk show for a new segment on virgin dating. He's also been on the Tom Joyner Morning Show and has been featured on Essence, Ebony, Jet, Black Enterprise, and so many more websites. I actually discovered him through the Roland Martin show, News One Now, which is one of my favorite shows. Additionally, Westbrook serves as a contributing blogger for the Huffington Post, and he regularly speaks to youth and groups about his journey in achieving personal success. This summer, Westbrook wrote his first book titled #Motivation Feed Your Mind, which became a #1 bestseller on Amazon. Earlier in 2016, Westbrook embarked on a motivational speaking tour called See It Through to spread his message on a larger scale. Living at your own pace is something everyone can relate to. It's a universal style, lifestyle, and message that promotes happiness and courage, he says. And he graduated from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, where he has studied sports medicine and African American studies. In his spare time, he loves working out, living a healthy lifestyle and a clean lifestyle, and listening to music and watching sports. After this interview, we're going to be answering your questions live on air. We're going to talk relationships, business, entrepreneurship, health, fitness, and more. So let's get this going. Jim Dre, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Sade, how are you?
I'm doing so well. We are glad to have you back on the Sade Champagne Show for Season 2, Episode 25. You're one of my favorite guests that we had last season.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm very humbled and blessed and honored to be back with you guys on tonight.
Awesome. So let's get right into this. When did you first become an entrepreneur?
Can you say that again? I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
That's okay. When did you first become an entrepreneur?
Yes, I first became an entrepreneur in college. I had the dream in high school that I wanted to become an entrepreneur and have my own business one day. Look, Russell Simmons, Puff Daddy, and Jay-Z. They looked like me. They talked like me. They were from places that I was from. So I got the inspiration from those brothers to say, I can do it. If they could do it, I could do it. So when I went to college, I had an opportunity to become the first intern for a clothing line that was called Simple and Plain back in the day, which is now known as Layup Clothing, which stands for Live at Your Own Pace. So my business partner, his name is Dre as well. Andre let me know that there was an opportunity to learn a couple things from him, and this was never part of the plan for me to be with Layup for 11 years, now going on 12, and to be his right-hand man. I just wanted to learn something from him, and I figured I would eventually do my own thing. But I believe that, God had a plan for me and has kept me and Dre together for 11 years, and that's how I got the idea to say, you know what, I could be an entrepreneur, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Wow, that's so awesome. And so what does being an entrepreneur mean to you?
Being an entrepreneur to me means a lot of things. I think the first thing is that, there are no days off. Like when you're an entrepreneur, you're working 24/7, 365. And you're actually really not working because when you're an entrepreneur, you're very passionate about something, whatever your business is. So for me, it's clothing when it comes to Layup. When it comes to Worth the Wait Guy, it's helping other people and being that positive message that people can do whatever they want to do in life. So you're always creating and you're always in motion with your passion. So when you're an entrepreneur, you can always be doing something, always bettering yourself, learning, researching. There's so much information out there for you to get better and better. So being an entrepreneur means being a hustler. Like you have to love the hustle, to love whatever game that you are in, because there are going to be some times where it's not going to be all good. It's not going to, money coming in everywhere. There are going to be some highs. There are going to be some lows. But in order to be a successful entrepreneur, you're going to have to be uncomfortable in a few situations, but learn how to thrive in those uncomfortable moments, learning how to trust yourself, believe in yourself, talk to other people who can help you out. Because when you're an entrepreneur, I think a lot of people think that you're on your own, which, yes, sometimes you are, but not all the time. So it's very, I think, important to have some type of support system, even if it's just one person. Bounce some ideas off. Make sure that you're not tripping and you're crazy, that you can talk to, because those are the people that can keep you grounded. Those are the people that can keep you focused so you don't feel like you're alone all the time. So that's kind of what an entrepreneur means to me. You're a hustler, you're a hard worker, you're someone that's very passionate about something, and you're a dreamer or a visionary. You have a dream, you want it to be accomplished, and through hard work, through dedication, through preparation, you will be able to accomplish that goal.
That's really good. I like what you said, being able to turn challenges into triumphs, and also, like you said, because it's not always going to be easy, and it can be in any situation in life. It's something I work with my students on a lot, is sharing with them, like, there's going to be I told them, I was like, do you know how many times every day I embarrass myself? Not on purpose, but where you have things where you get embarrassed, or where you're afraid, where you don't know how something is going to how it's going to turn out. But I say you just do it anyways, and you learn to just embrace those moments and realize they can never define you.
Exactly, yeah. You have to keep shooting the ball in a sense. Even if you, like you said, you miss, you might mess around and air ball, but it's okay because you took that shot. You took that chance, and the more and more you keep shooting, the more shots will go in for you.
Have you always been a leader and confident in yourself, or is that something that you grew into over time?
I think I've always had the leader gene in me, the capability to want to lead people. I think it's the Capricorn in me. My mom would always say that when I was young, I was very self-assured, that I knew not necessarily everything, but if I did want to do something, I was pretty sure of it. Like, I wasn't indecisive, even though I can be indecisive or diplomatic a lot of times. I knew that I had the ability, to lead, and I always kind of looked at myself and wanting to be a leader. I don't have to necessarily be the head, the chief in the end, but I always knew that I had the ability to help people and lead them to where they wanted to go. As early as my middle school years, where I ran for student council president. I enjoyed the whole campaigning process, and I was very discouraged when I found out that I lost I believe it was in 8th grade, when I lost the race by 8 votes. Like, not 80 or 800, like literally 8 votes. Like, I was so discouraged, I demanded a recount. Like, because it didn't make sense to me. Like, we're talking middle school, y'all. Like I was in the principal's office like, yo, something has to be wrong, because me and this other guy who won, Adam Suter, who's a friend of mine, I was like, it just didn't make sense that it was so split down even, which it was. So even then, like, I knew that I could lead. And when I got to high school, I ran for student council president again, and I won. So I just always felt that I could be a leader, that it was instilled in me, and I took great pleasure and joy in helping people get to a common goal.
Definitely. And so tell us all about your new book, which is a best-selling book on Amazon. Woohoo! Go for you for that. That's huge. So tell us about your brand new book, #Motivation Feed Your Mind, and where people can get it.
Sure. Well, thank you for all the support in hashtag Motivation Feed Your Mind. As you said, it reached the bestseller, #1 on Amazon on this month, and I'm very, very, very blessed. I never thought I would be an author. I've kind of always been a writer. I like writing, so that's why I came up with the blog worththewaitguy.com 2 years ago, because I liked telling a story. I liked sharing information that could potentially help others. So when it came to writing a book, it really wasn't a goal of mine. It happened because I was always tweeting. I was always posting motivational quotes. So I would post these quotes every single day, and they would be original quotes. And a lot of people liked them, and they liked them so much, I had actually 2 people tell me that are very close to me, you should write a book of motivational quotes. And the first time someone said that, it was my publicist, Grace. I said, for whatever reason, I wasn't comfortable writing a book, didn't think it was the right time, and I just basically shut it down. But the second time, a person by the name of Melanie Bonita let me know, you have a lot of material. Not just a lot of material, you actually have multiple books on your Twitter page. You should do something about it. So since that was the second time someone said that, I took a deeper look into it, and to make a long story short, I started writing a book. It made a lot of sense, and I wanted to basically create a book that took one extra step. Everyone's on social media. We all like Instagram. We like to, like things, comment, share, repost. But I wanted to create a book like hashtag Motivation that made the reader do a little extra work. So with the book, it's a 60-day book where you read a quote a day. You can literally spend 5 minutes a day. Read the quote, and I ask you a series of questions, maybe 2 or 3 questions about that quote. How do you feel? How can you apply that to your daily life? And that's the journey that I help take you on, where I give you the quote, but then you do some thinking. You look inside what you have and apply that to your daily life. So that's kind of how that book came to be, and it's been one of the greatest accomplishments of my life thus far. I'm very, very blessed, very humbled to be a bestseller, but I want the next book, which will be called hashtag Love, Open Your Heart, to be a bestseller as well. So the first one, Motivation, is a series of 6 books, the hashtag series. So I'll do hashtag Motivation, then you'll see Love, maybe you'll see a purity book, fitness, maybe marriage, eventually when I get married, and family, when I'm blessed to have a family. So I think those will be the 6 books in that hashtag series, and I can't wait to finish the second one. I'm already on it right now, but I will be finishing that very, very soon, so hashtag Love can be released by the end of the year. And you can get all of these books on Amazon.com, or you can go to my website, shop.worththewaitguy.com is where you can buy hashtag Motivation Feed Your Mind right now.
Awesome. And so you mentioned Layup, which I love, that live at your own pace. Share with us about your clothing line, Layup.
Yes.
And how that came about.
So with Live at Your Own Pace, as I said earlier, I've always wanted my own clothing line, and a friend by the name of Andre Thomas had a clothing line called Simple and Plain. When I was going to the University of Michigan, I just wanted to learn something from him. And as I learned, I saw a greater vision. Yes, we had cool shirts. Yes, everybody on campus knew about Simple and Plain. But the slogan, the motto was always live at your own pace. And that always resonated with me because I thought it was so dope and so cool, because it tells you what you want to do in life. Like, even if you never heard that phrase, you kind of want to live life at your own pace. And whatever pace that is, it's your pace. It's not your parents' pace. It's not your teacher's pace. It's not your spouse's pace. It's your pace. And sometimes people, when we have responsibilities, when we have duties, we can forget about us because we're always giving and we're always making sure everyone else is okay. but at the end of the day, to make sure that you're okay so you can help yourself and others. So with Live at Your Own Pace, I just always thought it was bigger than the clothes. It was a movement. It was a lifestyle. It was a philosophy. It was a mantra.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we have our clothing store, our first flagship store that is located downtown Las Vegas, now
wow.
we have that platform. We have that platform so people can get the full layout experience. I feel that when you buy a shirt, it's cool. You like it.
Mm-hmm.
You post about it, and you can tell people about it. But now you can see me. Now you can see Dre. Now you can see Greg, who's the other owner. You can see the whole entire layout family and get that experience. When we tell you the story, you can hear the passion in our voices, and that's something that, you know, you have to experience for yourself. And I'm so excited because on this weekend, we're having our grand opening for the flagship store right here in Las Vegas. Thank you. We're so blessed to have a grand opening. We're actually going to do it the entire Labor Day weekend, so it starts on Friday and it ends Monday. We're having a ribbon-cutting ceremony with a nice little bells and whistles throughout the whole entire weekend. The ribbon-cutting ceremony is on Friday, and we'll end the grand opening weekend Monday night. So for anybody out there that's traveling to Las Vegas this weekend, come holler at us. We are located downtown Las Vegas. It's not the Strip. This would be what's considered Old Vegas, Fremont experience. Look us up. You can check all my social media. I've been posting like crazy about that because we're so excited to bring the city something new and letting people know that it's acceptable to live life at your own pace.
Oh, that's so good. And so with that being said, you know, how do you, I guess this is kind of a two-part question. It goes into, you know, I feel like they kind of go together. How do you stay confident and true to yourself while working in industries and even living in, you know, a place that has been known to either tear people down or try to mold them into what they want them to be?
Yes, with me, first and foremost, you know, I trust God. He's my foundation. You know, whenever I don't feel like myself, whenever I feel that, you know, I need to pick me up or I need to talk to somebody, he's the first person that I talk to. He's been ahead of my life for a very, very long time, and the relationship that I have with him is the most special relationship that I have in my life. So that's, I believe, what keeps me grounded very spiritually. And when it comes physically, like I have a great support system. My sister, who lives in Las Vegas, who's actually leaving Vegas for L.A. Very soon, she is my best friend. That's my heart. So whenever I need to talk to someone face-to-face, I have that relationship with her that we can communicate just about any time, and we can talk things out. I also have a great circle of friends where, you know, they are surrounded by me and I'm surrounded by them, and they love me for who I am. Of course, they're my friends, so they crack jokes every now and then, but they know me and they have my back, and they don't want me to change. Like if I was to change it, if I did things out of character, they'll be the first people to check me and say, wait a minute, that's not you. Why are you doing this like everybody else? So for me, you know, just having that relationship with God, having that relationship with my sister and my parents, as well as my friends, have been a big reason on why I've been able to live life at my own pace, do my thing the way I want to do it, and not conform to what everybody else or society wants me to be because, you know, I may be, you know, a black guy, or I may be, you know, because I have tattoos, or, you know, whatever the case may be. You know, I've been able to stay true to myself, and I believe those are the reasons why.
That's really, really good. That's really good. And so I have one more question for you until we go into a song break, and then I am going to have us come back with questions from our listeners and from fans and then I'll see if I can squeeze some of my questions in between. If not, then I guess we'll just have to bring you back on again.
Cool.
So my last question before we go into our song break for you is, what is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
Oh, the biggest misconception that people have about me, I'd probably say I haven't gotten a lot of it, I guess, to my face or maybe through my email, but I don't read, what's out there about me or boss, but, the little stuff that I have heard or read about is I think people are shocked that I'm actually a real person. I think that, because, but and that's twofold. I think number one is like dude is like really a human. You know what I mean? Like I think when you hear Work the Way Guy and you hear my story, there are a lot of things, a lot of questions. It's like, is he telling the truth, or is he really a virgin, or man, he must be super lame, or he must be whack, or he must be gay, or he must. There's so many misconceptions that come with it because I'm a 32-year-old virgin. Something must be wrong with him. He has mama issues. He's crazy. You know what I mean? It's always something must be wrong. So I think those are some misconceptions, and then the simple fact that like I said, I'm a real, genuine, kind person. When people talk to me, when people email me, like if you DM me, like 95%, because I'm not perfect and I'm not going to say 100, but 95% of the messages that people send, I actually reply to the message. And it's actually me. It's not my little sister. It's not my cousin. It's not my, publicist. It's actually me. Like, it's me, my phone, my iPad, my MacBook. It's me. So I think when people get responses, one, they're shocked that they got any type of response. But then, two, when they actually hear what I have to say, it's like, yo, like, this is actually you. Like, you're actually a real person. Like, you're cool. So I think that, that's probably the biggest misconception that, maybe because I have a international platform, or maybe because I've been on the Steve Harvey show, or I've done this, or I've done that, people probably think I'm not real, or I'm fake, or I'm Hollywood. You know what I mean? But I tell people, I'm from Saginaw, Michigan. Like, I'm from Sag Nasty. If anybody knows anything about Michigan or Saginaw, like, for as long as I live, I will always be proud of where I'm from, Saginaw, and call it Sag Nasty. Like, that's where I'm from. If anybody knows anything about the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green, that's where I'm from. So I'm happy to see people like him and other people who are doing well in Saginaw that may not be professional athletes. They're doing big things. So I'm from an inner city. I'm from the east side of Saginaw. We had the good house in the hood, if you will. So, like, I'm from a place where I understand real people. Like, I'm not from Pleasantville or outer space because I'm this virgin guy. I can appreciate realness, kindness, and being genuine. So I think that's the biggest misconception, that, one, I'm telling the truth and something's got to be wrong with me, but more so that I'm like a real person. And, that's why I believe that I'm able to connect with people, because I am real and genuine.
Well, I'm excited to talk with you more about this after our break, because I got some questions to ask you in that with the relationship department and how you've been able to maintain abstinence and your purity. And so, everyone, we're going to take a quick song break and then come back with Jim Westbrook to answer your questions and take your calls live on air. You can call 323-693-3043 and press 1. That's 323-693-3043 and press 1. If you're already listening in, just press 1 so I can bring you live into the show right after this. We are also taking your questions from Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as well. Right now we have Echo Smith with Tell Her You Love Her, the acoustic version. Get your questions ready because we are taking them right after this. We're going to talk about it all: relationships, business, entrepreneurship, health, fitness, living your dreams, and more. My social media is already blowing up, and I can't wait for Jim Dre and me to discuss what's on your heart and mind. Keep listening to the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio.
Do you know of a young adult who has a passion for playing sports and who is determined to reaching their full potential as an athlete? Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm a transformational sports coach and the founder of Vida es Oro. I earned a college basketball scholarship, and my purpose is to empower young athletes in reaching their full potential in sports and in life. I provide support and guidance in overcoming obstacles, and in return, the young athlete will build more confidence in their skills and abilities, which will raise their game to the next level. If you know of a young adult who is committed to taking their athletic potential to the next level, contact me by going to my website, www.vidasoro.com. That's www.v as in victory, IDAESORO.com, or email me at youthsports@vidasoro.com.
Welcome to Season 2 of the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio. We are an inspirational, entertainment, and music-based talk show with interchanging segments on wellness, health, fashion, entrepreneurship, dream building, spirituality, charities, and other fascinating topics. We interview special guests and celebrities each week, play music from my favorite artists, and engage with our listeners through Q&As, contests, and much more. We are not afraid to push the envelope and challenge traditional thinking. Every episode is different than the one before, and we are committed to bringing the highest quality content that is sure to entertain, empower, and encourage. We look forward to having you with us every Wednesday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time right here on GrindHard Radio.
Hi, you're tuned in to GrindHard Radio. This is AYOKUNLE FALOMO from the Sharing Your Story segment on the Sade Champagne Show. Keep listening.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio. We still have our special guest, Jim Dre Westbrook, with us in the studio. He's an entrepreneur, published author, co-owner, and spokesperson for the lifestyle clothing brand Layup, a.k.a. Live at Your Own Pace. He's been on the Steve Harvey's TV talk show, Tom Joyner Morning Show, Essence, Ebony, News One Now with Roland Martin, at Black Enterprise, and so much more. His new book, #Motivation Feed Your Mind, is a #1 bestseller on Amazon. Right now, we are answering your questions live on air. You can ask us anything about relationships, business, entrepreneurship, health, fitness, living your dreams, and more. Just call 323-693-3043 and press 1. If you're already listening in, just press 1 so I can bring you live into the show. We are also taking your questions from Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as well. Once again, that's 323-693-3043 and press 1. We do have a listener on the line, and I recognize this number. We're bringing you into the studio, 267, area code 267 and 226, bringing you in. Hello?
Hello.
I know that.
Sade, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, how
are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I have enjoyed the interviews so far. Oh, my goodness, it's been just amazing. I've been taking notes.
Thank you. I'm so glad. This is my good friend, Erica Arthur. She's an amazing poet and wonderful woman. And so what would you like to, any questions you have for Jim Dre or you want to share with us tonight?
Absolutely. First of all, salute Jim Dre.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you listening and calling in on the show tonight.
Oh, my goodness. First of all, congratulations to you on the flagship store. I think that's just amazing to see that come into fruition. So everything I heard was just informative and very, very powerful and encouraging. So congratulations to you on all of your success, the book as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, I was listening to a few things that stuck out and resonated with me. I like the fact that you did not ever see yourself in this space and that for whatever reason, God supernaturally ordained you in this direction. I wondered, have you found people beginning to pigeonhole you in one area versus another. So if you have a person who embraces you only as an author, someone who's just decided, oh, no, that's just the gentleman who's the 32-year-old virgin, like, do you find yourself having to reintroduce yourself in different settings?
Yes. I think in certain settings, yes, I have to reintroduce myself or, make aware that, I'm just not the virgin guy or I'm just not, the layout guy. I think a lot of people, in life and whatever we do, if they kind of know us for that one thing. And, I've been very, very blessed to have more than one thing, quote unquote, that's worked out, that, I have a platform, that I have a message behind, and I look at that as an opportunity. I don't look at that as, anything where, I become upset or I get discouraged that, maybe I can't shake that identity. I just kind of embrace it and, open myself for maybe new or more creative ideas to keep informing people that I do more than maybe they know me for. I'm just very, very blessed to have that option. And like I said, continue to come up with more content, include more people, co-brand, collaborate, continuously getting that message out that, I am an author, but a motivational speaker and an entrepreneur and this and that, and just kind of keep coming. So as you continuously see me, maybe that will broaden people's scope or spectrum on exactly, what I do.
Excellent. Excellent. One of the other things that resonated with me is that you had mentioned accountability, and I'm sure that overlaps into not just business, but your personal life as well. Have you found that that's helped you to keep your purity and to not be ashamed to be public about it? That type of accountability, has that also kept you, since you've gone public, to remain accountable?
Yes, I think it's helped me tremendously. When I felt comfortable enough when I turned 30 to kind of celebrate, my celibacy vow, I didn't, like I said before, like I was just kind of doing something for myself initially. I didn't even think out the master plan that this was actually going to have me in this very moment. But I learned very, very quick, right before I got on the Steve Harvey, it was the Essence interview that, like, within seconds, like, I got over 300 messages. Like,
wow.
They just kept coming. They kept coming. They kept, like,
wow.
It literally took me 2 days to answer probably 98% of the messages that I got. Like I said, they were over 300, and that was the first time that I knew that, what I'm experiencing, what God has for me right now is bigger than me. Like, this thing is just not about, my relationship with him. Like, he has a plan. He has something behind this, and I'm going to do my very best to make sure that I'm accountable. And I'm very, very blessed to hold myself accountable, but then also have other people that are very encouraging, that are very supportive of my movement. And, I'm very, very blessed to still be able to walk this walk.
Excellent. I just have one other question for you, if I may.
Yes.
So for those of us who are interested in moving towards entrepreneurship but are kind of in transition financially, I am a writer, I'm a poet, I'm a blogger, and I do it because I love it. I do understand that as God enlarges your territory, there's a different level of responsibility. To whom much is given, much is required. But there's also the practical day-to-day, being a wife, being a mother, still paying on student loans from the flood. What's the practical advice to kind of move in that direction?
I think the practical advice would be obviously, like you said, you have responsibility and you have to, kind of take care of that. But I would try to say is, don't lose, who you are within that whole process. I know how it can be very daunting. I can't feel like you don't have enough time to, like you said, be a wife, be a mother, take care of business. But I think, what it does provide is a challenge to still be able to make your dreams come true and make yourself happy. And I think, like you said, God will provide those opportunities. He will make sure that, he's not going to give you anything that you can't handle. And even when you feel like you can't go any further or you're tapped out, you kind of have to believe that, you have that second wind, that you have that reserve tank and, ideas and creativity and all the energy that you need to accomplish your goals will happen, and the financial situation will get better. I've been there too, and I can't even say myself that I'm out of a financial situation too where I don't worry about anything no more. We're all still steady grinding and still climbing up that mountain. But what I'm finding is I'm trying to do less of that worrying, of that planning, but letting God do more and trusting in Him more and understanding that He's not going to leave me hanging. Like He's just not going to leave us hanging. And if we continue to, take that first step or take the first steps, we take one, He's going to take 10. And then from there, it's kind of like simple math. So I feel that you're on that path and you know what to do. But I feel as you maybe do less of this has to happen this way, that way, but do more trusting in God, I think we'll all, at the end of the day, become winners.
Excellent. I appreciate you taking my call, Sade. And sir, I thank you for answering my questions. Appreciate your time.
All right. Same here. God bless.
Oh,
bless
Erica,
you as well.
before you
Yes, ma'am.
Erica, before you end, I want you to shout out for everyone to check out your website and your blog so they can check out your poetry, because she is a phenomenal writer, and also let them know with your Instagram too. So I want you to plug it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, and much respect to you, sis. So I'm Indigo Interlude on Instagram and on Twitter for my personal account. But I'm a family woman, so you're more than welcome to stop by there. But my love poetry, as well as inspirational, non-traditional blog pieces, can be found at AuthenticitySpeaks.com. Now, authenticity is spelled a little different. It's instead of ending in a Y, it's ending in 2 E's. So you can check me out there or on Instagram at Authenticity Speaks.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Erica. Guys, I'm going to tweet her so that way you guys can see her social media again and her website where to check it out. Thank you for calling in and for being so supportive of the show.
Absolutely. Much respect both on and off the court. Thank you for having me. Peace.
Peace. All right, Jim Dre, we're going to try to do some laser light speed to answer these other questions that we have that people sent in. And so I want you to obviously give them as much information as you can, but try to answer them as quickly as you can. Can we do that?
Sure.
All right, so Kendra King asks, can you ask him if getting license or trademark or LLC, which would be better for business owner?
It kind of depends on the business. If you're ready to go in terms of e-commerce and selling stuff, I would probably go with an LLC just so you have some type of business entity. Trademark is more so of a logo. So if you have a logo, if you have a saying, something along those lines that you want to protect, then that's when I would go to trademark.
Okay. And Tiana Curvin asks, I'm writing my first book. I'm 7 chapters in. What advice do you have for unknown authors who want to get their work out there and possibly get paid to write?
Yes. Step one would be to keep writing. If the book has 8 chapters and you kind of feel like, I can't finish this, continue to just write and finish that. Edit it. You have to make sure that the book is edited by multiple people. So I would definitely research and find cheap or free editors that do it professionally to make sure that your book is on point. And then you're going to have to get it out there. You can self-publish the book. You can self-publish through Amazon and other areas and avenues. I would just research that and then promote. Tell everyone about your story, about your book, and then you'll be on your way.
Awesome. Christina Renee said, well, she has multiple questions, so I guess we'll start with the first one. Did he find a publisher or did you self-publish?
Self-publish. I could have went with a few publishers, but for my first book, I wanted to self-publish.
All right. And is it available on Kindle or just a handheld book?
It is available on Kindle, so you can look up #Motivation Feed Your Mind. It is $5. It's actually $4.97. So you can buy it on Kindle for $4.97, and you can buy the paperback version on Amazon or on my website, shop.worththewaitguy.com, for $14.97, the paperback version.
All right. How long was the process from self-publishing, or I guess the self-publishing process?
I would say the process was, let's just call it 2 months. I had to do some researching. I had to make sure I knew, create the perfect book title, the book cover, the intro, the dedication. I had to make sure that each quote was under 140 characters since they were original social media quotes. Some of them were longer than that. So the editing process took a while. Like I said, I had 3 people edit it, and plus myself, it really was 4 people. So I would say from the idea to the actual book in hand was about 2 months.
All right. And once you finished the book, what were your next steps to get it to market?
For me, was to make sure that I got it on Amazon. That was step one. Make sure I got it on Amazon so it would be available for paperback and Kindle, and as well as I created a shop page on worththewaitguy.com. So when people would read my blog, they could see the brand new shop page and buy the book as well as my sexual purity CD and DVD. So that was something I wanted to make sure that I had multiple products on my website. So when you got there, you can not just get the book, but have other things to potentially purchase as well.
All right. And then did you just start writing your book, or did you lay out your book?
For me, since I was a writer and creating the quotes, I had all my content already. It was more of the editing part for me. So I had probably 90% of the book already finished. I had to write a few new quotes, but I did all of that, like I said, within the 2.5 months. And that process, it would have been longer if I did not have most of the quotes already written.
That's good. All right, and then let me see, making sure I got it. And then you did use an editor, correct?
Yes, correct. And thank God my editor was my mother. My mom
that makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, it made it a lot easier and cheaper. My mother is a semi-retired college professor of over 30 years. So, I was very, very blessed to have her be my head editor, as well as a friend and my publicist, who everybody took a look at it. Everybody made corrections and changes, including myself. And, Mom's was definitely looked out because if I didn't have her quick note, that's what's going to be the most expensive part of the process, is getting that professional editor, because you must have that editor, or chances are there will be some mistakes in the book. Without my mother there, even me, and I proofread everything 3 times, the book would have not been what you guys see today. So you have to make sure that you invest into a great editor.
Okay, and then we have a question from one of my listeners and supporters in Argentina, Mel. She asked, isn't he afraid of being the 40-year-old virgin if he keeps waiting, I mean?
No, I'm not afraid of being the 40-year-old virgin. Say if it's going to happen or not. I believe in my heart that I'm not going to be the 40-year-old virgin and be the real-life sequel of the movie, per se. But if God wants me to be that dude, I'm going to have to be that guy. I will accept it. I will own it. And I will continue to walk my walk. I do feel that with each day, I'm getting closer to finding who God wants me to be. Now, that doesn't mean I'm dating anyone, because I'm not dating anyone, but I do feel as I'm getting closer to him, I feel that I'm getting closer to her. And I feel that it may not take another 8 years to find her, but maybe it will. But I feel that, you know, whatever he has for me, I may not have to wait till 40.
And how do you maintain keeping your peace? And I guess that's probably where your confidence comes into play, but keeping your peace in that, because, you know, without going into too many details about my personal life, I will just say a lot of people think that I'm a unicorn as well. And so, you know, I'm fine with who I am and who God created me to be. But, you know, being in the society we live in, there's so much pressure and people look at you so weird for different life choices that you make that are not common to what people are used to seeing. And so do you ever feel any pressure from that, or do you ever question who you are or what your choices are? Or do you feel that's where your confidence comes into play and you just staying true to yourself that keeps you at peace?
Yeah, I think that's where my confidence comes in and where I can stay true to myself and stay at peace. However, you know, like I said, I'm human. So I've been down the road where it's like, man, you know, I can't believe I'm still a virgin, or, oh, man, you know, like when you, right before you turn 30, you start freaking out. So it's like, oh, man, I'm about to be 30 and this and that. So I think right before I did the Worst Away guy, I did, that was going through my mind a little bit. But once I kind of checked myself and I came back to God and talked to him, it was one of those things where it's like, you know what, I have a great idea. I think that it can work. I think that it can help people, and I want to do it. That was it. Other than that, there wasn't a master plan, and I'm being very genuine and just wanting to get the story out to let people know you can live at your own pace. Embrace yourself. Do what makes you happy. I think that's why, you know, I've been very, very blessed to carry this message and carry this story on. And, yes, that's what gives me my confidence every single day.
That's really good. So I want to get two more questions in, one from one of our listeners and then a question of my own for other women and young girls listening. All right, so Miss Blue asked a question. She said, when parents are divorced and they have kids together, what can the mother do to help raise the boys properly, meaning teaching them how to be #real men?
Yes, I think the mother can stay active. You know, even though that the marriage did not, it isn't still current, she still has an active role as being a mom. And those young men need their mother, just like they need their dad, but they need mom. So I think being very active, being, you know, unafraid to have certain conversations, just not the talk. You know, just letting them know what's going on in America, what's going on in the world, just being very proactive in their lives, giving them all the love in the world. If they have a question, even if you don't have the answer, engage with them and then come back with them. Just let them know who they are, let them know that they are loved, let them know that they can do great things in the world, and just be there. I think being present, being consistent, and being real with them will help them be real men from a mother's perspective. They'll get what they need to get from their dad, hopefully. But even if that doesn't happen, you can take care of being that mom by doing those things, and they'll love you for it.
That's good. And so I would like for you to share this from a guy's point of view. And, because I love mentoring young girls and women, and I think it's great for them to hear things from a male's perspective at times, especially someone, who's, a gentleman like yourself and someone who's focused and who I know would treat women well. What words of encouragement, advice would you give to women who are struggling with being single and finding the right man?
Say, don't get down on yourself. I know being single and having the aspirations to be a wife, to be a mother, may seem very far-fetched, or may seem like you've been in multiple relationships and they didn't work, and you're kind of, finding yourself to be alone. Don't get discouraged. I feel that once you start feeding into that type of mindset, you can stay there, and it can be very, very difficult to get out of that. I think that you must stay positive. I feel that you must believe in yourself, and believe in God, and believe in the fact that you will one day have everything that you want. I know that it may seem like it isn't in the same stratosphere as you right now, but it is, and it's within reach. And when God feels that you're ready, He's going to bless that man into your life. You don't have to go looking for him. I think a lot of women find themselves looking for that guy and trying to search for him or try to choose him. But that man, that special one, will choose you. You won't have to do anything. I'm not telling you to just sit and wait. You can, however, that man, the right one, will find you, and he'll be so happy, so blessed for you to just be in his presence. So I think if you are single, if you find yourself, not having that special someone in your life, first and foremost, you have to believe that it's going to happen. Don't get down on yourself, and understand that God is working with you. He's working with that man, so you guys can get closer and grow closer to one another. God's working. I know it may not seem like He's not, and He's up there just chilling, but He is working, and it's very important for you to realize that and understand that your time is coming.
That's so good. Well, everyone, this was Jim Dre Westbrook. I'm going to bring him back on again, if not the end of this season, then next season for sure. And just going to have to extend his time on longer because we have so many great things we could talk about. I want to thank you for joining us tonight on the Sade Champagne Show. And make sure you all check out his hashtag Motivation Feed Your Mind book on Amazon or on his website for Worth the Wait, or also his clothing line at Layup. So many good things you can check out with him on there. And you see I've been retweeting a lot of his things, so you can check it out there as well. Next up, we have Faith Evans with Tears of Joy. You're listening to the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio.
Are you looking for a dynamic musical artist, performer, host, or inspirational speaker for your next event? What about a mentor, vocal instructor, or workshop leader for your school, company, or seminar? Contact Sade Champagne for countless professional services that are sure to fit your particular need. She is an in-demand, award-winning, and critically acclaimed musical artist, performer, inspirational speaker, and entrepreneur who is invited all around the world. She is known for having a powerful voice, turning ideas into action, creating, directing, and executive producing popular, charitable, and inspirational events, and bringing out the gold in others. Her services are for all ages, backgrounds, and environments. Contact Sade Champagne at SadeChampagnemusic@gmail.com. That's Sade Champagne Music @gmail.com to book her for your next event or project.
The Living with Fearless Joy segment on the Sade Champagne Radio Show features Rick and Melissa Wood, who run a ministry called Fearless Joy Ministries. Rick and Melissa have a passion to see people free from religion, free from fear, and living lives full of freedom and full of joy. Melissa has authored a book titled Eliminating Fear: How Removing the Fear of God Leads to Removing Fear in Life. If you would like to book Rick and Melissa for any speaking engagements, conferences, or to talk about eliminating fear, you can reach them at the website eliminatingfear.com. Just make sure to go to the Contact Us page where you can get more information and you can communicate with them personally.
You can find Melissa at Melissa Joy Wood at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and you can find Rick at Rick C. Wood at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And right here on GrindHard Radio on the Sade Champagne Show.
Welcome back to the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio. Our final segment of the night is Sharing Your Story. Join published author, speaker, and poet AYOKUNLE Faloma as he inspires you and shares tips on how to tell your own stories. Hashtag Sharing Your Story to ask him your questions and join in the conversation. Take it away, AYOKUNLE.
Thank you, Sade. Good evening, everybody. Such a crazy idea to follow up the last episode. That was so inspiring. Jim Dre really shared his own story. And I think what I want to do for tonight, this was my plan also earlier, to share tips on how to tell your story in a truthful and in a very honest manner. I feel like there is a pressure to add one or two things that might make the story seem a little more interesting. I want to say, Jim Dre, thank you for your transparency. Thank you for your vulnerability in sharing your story. That was very inspiring for me personally. So on Sunday, I was given the opportunity to present a work, poetry infused with some theater, with some play. And I was given 10 minutes to share something. Now, there are different things I could have done, but I decided to revive this project I did in 2013 called 23, The Journey. And essentially, what was the inspiration behind that project was I turned 23, and I had this epiphany of sorts as to who I wanted to be as a person, as to who I wanted to become as a person. And that included things like my family, that included things like my heritage, as I shared with you in the last episode, that I am originally from Nigeria. I delved into things like my culture, specifically the tribe where I'm from in Nigeria, delved into my spiritual life, delved into relationships, delved into my romantic life, delved into financial life, delved into things like scars, either they be physical, emotional. So it was a very, very involved exploration into who I was as a person. And it gave me this idea to divide into 23 sections all those things that I uncovered for myself as a person. And so I wrote 23 sections of poems that were to become work called 23, The Journey Towards Personhood. And I felt like I was becoming the person I wanted to be. I was becoming the person I can't. And so I would invite people, strangers mostly, but some of them were friends as well, where I would invite these people to come and join me on my journey. And so I would share a particular segment for that portion of the meeting, and I would start off with that, and then it would be a conversation. We did this for at least an hour. So the poems are very short. it doesn't take 5 minutes to share one poem. So what I'm trying to say is, imagine having an hour-long conversation with mostly strangers about who you are as a person. Having an hour-long conversation with strangers about who they are. And the interesting thing, you could find similarities between our stories. With me sharing story, that's what I am passionate about, finding connection between my story and your story. Because at the end of the day, this is a grand story, like I said in the previous episode, the previous segment, when I hosted in the beginning. I am very, very interested in our shared story, in our shared humanity. And so this was an opportunity for me to kind of connect with another person, to connect with other people in our stories. So it was very vulnerable. It was very, very honest. It was very transparent. People that I kind of who were my friends, I got to see another side of them. People who knew me got to see another side of me, because it was essentially opening up everything about myself. This is who I am. This is who I've been. This is who I want to be. So looking back from birth, from when I was 4, from when I was 5, from when I was 6, from when I was 13, 14, 15, 17, pretty much the arc of my life. So I did that project 2013, and it spilled over in 2014, where I was given the chance to hold events where the sections would encourage conversations and discussions with strangers and friends, and even sometimes family members. So 2014, I think, was the last time I ever did anything with the project. Always been a desire of mine to revive the project if I could, in some ways. And so this year, the Houston Fringe was going to happen, and I had the opportunity to present something in 10 minutes, like I said earlier, and I thought it would be great if I could use that opportunity to share about my story again. And I started working with a friend of mine to see how we could merge stories, these sections of the stories, into how do you fit the life of a person? It's a pretty difficult thing to do, but we tried to fit different sections that we pick up on from these 23 sections into 10 minutes, and there were portions where I would actually the sections. Again, remember, these are poems, but like I said in the first episode, I consider poems a way to tell stories. It's a medium, different ways to tell stories. Plays are one of them. Poetry is one of them, which is what I do right now. But I also was a playwright at some, and so my friend helped me to kind of use theater elements and incorporate it with my poetry in order to be able to tell this story. Now, the reason I bring this up, whenever that opportunity came, the hesitations, of course, to not present my best self. The best self meaning who I actually am, all the things that I have been through, all the things that I am looking forward to. There is a hesitation, a certain kind of fear. Hold back on who you are. Hold back on you, because people don't like it. People see you differently. But I did that. And what really touched me, someone came up to me afterwards. After she said, I saw you in the backstage, and you were just standing there, and other people were practicing, and they were rehearsing, getting ready for their performance. But you're just standing there, and I wasn't too sure about you. But the second you opened your mouth, cry. And I started to tell the truth. Because you were saying stuff that most of us have thought about but did not have the courage to say. And that really touched me. And so we started sharing about her life, what she's been through. And I was able to find the commonality between my story and hers. Now, if I was not courageous to share my own story, that would certainly not have happened. But that is the purpose, that is the importance of telling the truth in your storytelling. That is the important, that is why you should grab at the opportunity to be honest with who you are, to be honest with the way you tell your story. Now, if I had embellished in some ways, I would not have been able to have that connection. And that is the importance of telling the truth, because you can be able to another human being. And if you ask me, there is absolutely nothing that is worth more than that. There is absolutely nothing greater than that. And so I want to encourage you, I want to give you tips as a tip for the next time you go into a story. Why are you holding back? I know the fear is real. If you ask me, the fear is very, very real. But also the need for you to be able to inspire another person to live a honest and truthful life, to be true with their own story, is way more important than your fear. And I want to encourage you as tellers, be it you're a writer, be it you're a poet, be it you're a singer, be it you're a dancer, because dance, believe it or not, wherever you are as an artist, I want to encourage you. I want to inspire you to do the same. Tell the truth in your story. And I hope that you will be able to achieve the desired result, which is to also inspire another person in their way of living in this world. So that's what I have for you tonight. I hope you are encouraged, and I hope to talk to you all. See you, Sade.
Awesome. Thank you so much, AYOKUNLE. Thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. Thank you for downloading, subscribing, and sharing my radio show. Next week, we are bringing back one of my biggest inspirations and favorite speakers. We are discussing everything from spirituality and dreams related. My special guest is pastor and speaker Greg Henry of Gospel Revolution Church in Slidell, Louisiana, along with my castmates Rick and Melissa Wood from our Living with Fearless Joy segment. We want to answer your questions about God, the meaning of life, success, fear, anxiety, and more. I'll also be giving away some super cool gifts. Thanks to GrindHard Radio for the opportunity to create my own radio show. Thanks to Travis Miller for creating and producing my theme song, and to Scott Swish for mixing the song. Thanks to my special guest, Jim Dre Westbrook. I'm so glad to have him back on again, and I can't wait to have him on again. And thanks to my castmate, AYOKUNLE Faloma. I'm always love hearing his voice, and your segment is so awesome, and I look forward to catching up with you more soon as well. Our final song of the night is Family Force 5 with Ghost Ride the Whip. Thanks for listening to the Sade Champagne Show, and see you next Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Time right here on GrindHard Radio.
Where dreamers dream, where dreams come true. There's no limit to what we can do. Turning no's to yes, leaving doubt behind, releasing the stress. We were born to shine.